What could be better than paddling a pristine bay on a kayak you built yourself? One person who finds his center in Tamales Bay is Marcus Daniels, a local carpenter. In the seaside town of Marshall, he runs a 6-day workshop where you can design, build, and then paddle your own custom Bidarka, an Aleut skin kayak, over 4,000 years old in design.
When I first started building the skin boats, it was purely from a point of passion. There was no job for a guy who could build skin boats. And so, but I just had to do it. Learning, trying to become better and better at it, studying like an obsessed person to learn about the background of the boats, the cultural aspects of them, going to museums, looking at how the joinery was done.
You don't have to be a woodshop expert to make your own boat. It's an involved but simple process. And as Marcus explained to me, your boat can be customized to your body dimensions and as authentic as you want it to be. Do you want to make it all out of driftwood, just like the ancients did? Well, go right ahead. Marcus will support you all the way.
The islands where these boats were invented, the Aleutian Islands, there are no trees that grow there. And yet they were able to make these boats just from the driftwood that they would find piled up on their shores.
And I would imagine that you'd have to wait a long time to collect enough driftwood.
I could imagine it taking a year to gather up enough crooks and to work up the pieces just to start putting together a boat.
Watching Marcus is like watching a Renaissance painter. The man gets so passionate about what he does, and he loves sharing it with other people, including his own family. A couple of times when I came in, his daughters and his wife would be there, and his wife's actually working on her own boat. It's a King Island Umiak. Well, when I saw her carving these lines into the gunnels of the boat, I asked her what function they serve, and she told me they don't actually serve a functional purpose. They're a completely artistic expression that the ancient Aleuts would use to bond the boat builder with his or her own craft.
While there's a certain amount of precision that goes into building a Bidarka, there's a lot of artistry as well. After a few days of tough work, you're rewarded as the boat takes shape. It's a beautiful hybrid of function and design. Of course, the best feature of a Bidarka is designing it for your personal use.
When the boat is being carried, you need a way to hold on to it. So this measurement here is from my knuckles there to the inside of my elbow. So to measure my forearm. Perfectly locks in so that I can pick it up really easily. So another measurement was the width of the boat, and that was based on the paddler's arm length from fingertip to the inside of their arm.
Well, this boat is designed just for you, isn't it?
It perfectly fits my body, yeah.
And the end result? A beautiful craft, weighing about 35 pounds and responsive to your every move. A skin of polyurethane-treated nylon, more durable and certainly more eco-friendly than traditional sealskin, is stretched taut over the ribbed framework. The craft can be customized with hatches, or even a second or third cockpit for additional paddlers.
When a person builds his or her own boat, there's the pride of handcrafting something beautiful, but in the end, the most empowering thing is when they're out on the water and the boat is responding to the waves, to their body movements, and they're looking at it and they're thinking, wow, I made this myself.
You don't have to be a woodworking genius to build your own Bidarka with True North boats. Courses are flexible. You can work a solid 6 days, or space it out over a period of months. After weeks of building our own customized skin boats, from rough framework to finished masterpiece, Marcus and I were ready to take them out on Tamales Bay for their first paddle.
Well, it feels good to finally get these boats out on the water, right?
Have you noticed how quiet they are compared to the other boats that you've been in?
Yeah, I don't get any sort of wave slap on the hull.
That's one of the advantages that a lot of people don't know about, having never paddled one themselves. The way they slip through the water without making a thumping noise, you find yourself very close to wildlife that doesn't suspect that you're there.
I've noticed one design feature of these boats is the fact that the bow slopes a little bit down, and it has this special wave breaker feature on the front. What's the purpose of that design?
The Aleut people who designed these boats wanted to have a fine entry, a fine breakwater at the water line to pierce the water for speed and for tracking, and yet they wanted to have some buoyancy above that. The underside of the upper portion actually acts like the underside of a surfboard.
These boats are so well designed. You really get an appreciation for the innovation of the ancient Aleuts once you get them out on the water. And they're so responsive. You just think, I'll paddle in this direction. Before you know it, your boat's already one paddle stroke ahead of you. And Marcus tells me that much like an old guitar, these boats get sweeter with age. And you really start to develop a personal bond with your boat over time.
That boat for me at this point is sort of like an old friend, and we've been on a lot of adventures together, and I still get that empowered feeling when I'm out, especially in rough weather and the boat's responding. Yeah, I get that same exact feeling.